The story begins with Hubert National Bank, where the commandos of the special forces who have become thieves target this bank in their first robbery. Their leader goes straight to the bank manager and shoots him in the chest without thinking for a moment, which leaves the entire bank empty and the people present their tremble with fear. After this, the thieves with full plan take control of the security guards and throw a Bluetooth speaker in the middle of the hall, from which a loud voice echoes that everyone lay down and keep your hands on the ground. Afraid of this, everyone immediately sits down and the bank employees open the safe in fear. In just 2 minutes, the entire robbery ends and the thieves leave with $3 million, that is about 25 crores, while running away. They leave a motion activated bomb there, and the same speaker again makes a threatening sound that if anyone picks it up or calls the police, then the bomb will explode in 15 minutes in the way. The leader looks at the CCTV camera and shoots it to destroy it as soon as the blink of an eye. These thieves disappear in the streets of the city as if they were never there. After about 25 minutes, the FBI gets the news of this robbery, but there is only one clue left on the scene, and that is a fingerprint on the bomb. Apart from this, no evidence is found, which surprises Secretary Jonathan. He does not understand that if he robbed so easily, then why did the thieves kill the bank manager? He suspects that there is a big secret behind it, so he goes to find evidence, but his accomplice tells him that the police has taken the bomb with them, and seeing this, Jonathan gets even more angry. That why is the police getting involved in this case? In anger, he goes straight to the police station, and the police chief finds Brian and asks him that this is a matter of the FBI. Then why is the police getting involved in this? And listen, whatever evidence you have handed over to me immediately. Tell you. As soon as he hears this, Brian gets scared and tells him that the fingerprint he got belongs to a man named James, who was in the special forces before about 5 years ago. James and his team had kidnapped some college students and asked for ransom, and when they did not get the money on time, then everyone was killed. After this, another unit of the army searched for all those rebels and killed them, and now only his younger brother Ranger is alive in James's family. The police suspected that when James and his entire team had died, then this robbery must have been done by Ranger, and with the help of some technique, he must have put James's fingerprint there. Thun. Agent Wales brings the news that during the robbery, Ranger was seen in a shop, so he cannot be caught, because how can a man be into places? After hearing this, Jonathan understands that the thieves are deliberately trying to mislead everyone, because the way these thieves are working, they cannot be of the special forces, because the special forces will never leave their fingerprints. So either these people are very stupid or very cunning agents are busy solving this problem. That another robbery happens, and this time the bank manager threatens to kill the family and opens the safe of the bank. The manager wears an earpiece and goes inside the bank and sends everyone out for breakfast out of fear. After this, he opens the safe with trembling hands, and as soon as the work is completed, the thieves move towards the bank. Then he meets a female employee who is about to ring the alarm, but the manager stops him and takes care of the situation. Thieves once again make the same loud noise from the speaker and take the entire bank under their control, but this time they don't pick up the money but pick up some special documents in the safe. The most surprising thing is that they get the injured guard treated, and the same female employee gets her Bendigathis. Makes it clear that these people do not kill anyone for no reason, and this raises the question why the bank manager was killed in the first robbery. In a little while, the answer is found when the third manager leaves for office in the rain, and a thief opens the door of his car and pulls him out as soon as he falls on the wet road. He does not get a chance to take care, and a knife is dropped on his neck. Meanwhile, the owner of the bank, Jeffrey, finds out that his 2 branches have been looted, and he is more concerned about those documents than money in this case. He finds out that there is a big secret in the bank where he is hiding after 2 robberies in a row. Secretary Jonathan is even more worried, because apart from that fingerprint, the thieves have not left any other clue. He was most worried about the fact that thieves killed the manager in one bank, while the same people in the other bank saved the life of the injured security guard. Seeing this reverse behavior, Jonathan thinks that there is definitely a hidden secret in this case, for which these thieves are going so far in this confusion. He keeps asking the remaining bank manager, and he does not expect to get any special information from there, but the manager unknowingly gives an important clue. Jonathan asks if the bank owner Jeffrey comes here often. The manager tells that Jeffrey is a very rich man who has about 3,000 bank branches. He does not take time to come to such a small branch, and he goes to his largest branch once or twice a year. But the strange thing was that recently Jeffrey was coming to this small branch every day. He was also checking the safe at the closing time. As soon as Jonathan hears this, he feels that something is definitely wrong here. Meanwhile, a colleague gives him more shocking news that after tracking the serial number of the bank, it has been found that a total of $3 million have been donated to a charity. Police Chief Brian did not tell Jonathan about such a big information, which makes him even more angry, and he orders Agent Wales to investigate together with Brian. Technical department also confirms from the fingerprint found on the bullet that the fingerprint is also of James, and this is the thing that bothers Jonathan the most, that how can a dead man be alive again? So far, both places have found such evidence that had the fingerprint of James, and this was the thing that was most confusing to Jonathan. He felt that there is definitely something hidden in the old kidnapping case that is now coming out with his thought. He orders his colleague to keep a close eye on Jeffrey and take out all his secrets. The very next day, Jeffrey himself arrives, and along with him, The leader of that area is also seen. Jonathan finds it very strange that such big people come to the death of the manager. Jonathan's suspicion gets deeper, and in the meantime, Brian is forced to investigate with Wales, where he finds an important witness. A security guard of the jewelry shop tells him that he is used to noting the numbers of cars when he is suspicious, and he also noted the number of thieves' cars when the number is checked. It is found that the car is in the name of the ranger, and as soon as Brian gets this information, he immediately orders the ranger to be caught. At the same time, Jonathan has a strange file in his hand, which he first thinks of as an investigation report, but some photos come out of it in those photos. The leader of that area and Jeffrey are seen very poor, and it becomes clear that all this has been sent by thieves, adding all the clues. Jonathan decides that now he will have to talk to Jeffrey directly. The very next day, he goes to the bank headquarters and meets him, where he mentions his dead younger brother, who was the victim of a kidnapping case and was kidnapped by the same special forces team, including James. Jeffrey remains calm on Jonathan's questions and does not give any reaction, but when Jonathan asks directly what was in the stolen documents, as soon as he hears this, Jeffrey's face turns red. Giving this, Jonathan understands that it was not a formality for Jeffrey to go to that small branch again and again, but was connected to the main branch. In anger, Jeffrey calls security and Jonathan is forcibly thrown out of the headquarters. At this time, the thieves have started their third operation, and this time their direct target is the headquarters of the bank. Thieves work very fast and coordinated, and every man's role is completely clear. They cross the main lobby, where security is very tight and there is a crowd of people still. The thieves move forward without making any noise and try to enter the main area with the help of cables. At the same time, Jeffrey's guards are taking Jonathan out. Then he sees the thieves and tells people to lie down, causing panic in the bank. Thieves see the opportunity and catch a security guard, and then Jeffrey also comes forward, after which the shooting starts by the FBI. A bullet accidentally hits the security guard and a thief falls injured by Jonathan's firing, who seems dead, but in a while he suddenly gets up and attacks. Seeing the situation getting worse, Jonathan first takes Jeffrey to a safe place and then meets the thieves again, but this time the thieves hit him hard, and finally, Jonathan somehow manages to escape with the injured security guards. After a long fight, only one bodyguard is left with Jeffrey, who is about to fall exhausted. The most surprising thing is that the thief standing in front does not attack the bodyguard, because from start to finish, he has only one target. Jeffrey, the thief, tells the bodyguard to put the weapon down, but then one of his companions reaches there and shoots the bodyguard in the forehead. Seeing this, the leader shouts at him in anger. At this moment, Jonathan attacks and kills the shooting thief, while the leader is caught alive. Seeing the situation reverse, one of the thieves immediately catches a female employee so that he can free his companion in return. There is a conversation on both sides, and in exchange is decided. Jonathan knows that if he released the thief, then he might not survive. The surprising thing is that the thief keeps his promise and releases Jonathan and tells his companions not to shoot. All the thieves quickly leave there, and the FBI seals the entire crime scene. When the technical team examines the body, it is found that the fingerprints have been erased and even the teeth have been removed so that the identity can never be identified. Meanwhile, Brian gets a call in which it is said that the ranger has been found. Brian and Wales immediately reach that place, but they only find the ranger's sister-in-law in the room. She tells that after James's death, whenever the ranger comes to meet him, he gives some money so that the children can survive. Brian thinks that he will not get any special clue, only then does he get the news that the ranger has been seen near an old house where maybe the rest of the thieves can also be hidden, but Brian hides this from Wales. The real reason is that Brian's wife has been suffering from cancer for a long time, and it is not possible to get treatment in her small salary. Remembering his wife's pain, Brian becomes more helpless and makes a big decision. Meanwhile, the next morning, Jonathan gets an unknown file which is sent by the thieves, and as soon as he sees it, Jonathan shivers. In that file, all the crimes of Jeffrey are written, and the king is completely revealed, which he had been hiding for years. It turns out that Jeffrey had planned the old big kidnapping so that only he had the property of his family and there was no division. He paid a military officer who thought about the raid that they were killing real terrorists, but later it was found that they were unarmed college students, including Jeffrey's younger brother. Knowing this truth, the whole team was broken. They realized that the order they received was wrong and they immediately sent a report above, but before the truth came out, another special forces team attacked them. James's team was not ready for this, and in the sudden attack, they were killed one by one. James was also killed in this attack, and as soon as Jeffrey's younger brother died, Jeffrey got all the property alone to hide his crime. Jeffrey paid a large amount to some military officers and made James and his team declared traitors. Had already bought 3 people from James's team to strengthen his plan. Those 3 people later became 2 bank managers who were killed by thieves, and the third was the same leader who was seen in James's last rites on the day of the mission. These 3 took leave on some or the other excuse and later testified against their own colleagues after the end of James's team. Jeffrey included these 3 in his system and continued to increase his strength with their support. He felt that his secret would always be suppressed and he would live a comfortable and powerful life, but the truth was that some special forces soldiers had escaped from that mission, and over time they realized that Jeffrey had used them and had their own soldiers kill it. This truth remained in their hearts for years and never allowed them to live in peace. After leaving the army, the remaining soldiers decided to take revenge together, and their intention was clear that Jeffrey and his companions should be punished. Jonathan now understood the whole truth, and he realized that the ranger also has a deep connection with this whole game, and the money he gives to Martha can be stolen money. He told his companions to investigate from this angle. Brian was also quietly tracking the ranger, and he confirmed that the money was hidden in the same old house. Brian and his companions decided that they would withdraw all the money before dawn, but as the investigation progressed, the media also came into action. All the big TV channels began to reveal the old truth, and it became clear that how much injustice had happened to James and his team. As soon as he saw this news, Jeffrey understood that now his bad time has begun, and he started preparing to run in a hurry. Jonathan also followed Jeffrey and told his companions that if there is a plane booked in the name of Jeffrey, then immediately get his information so that he cannot escape. Meanwhile, Jonathan himself reaches the bar where James's girlfriend worked, because he had a suspicion from the beginning that James could be Olivia. On the other hand, before dawn, Brian goes to meet his companions, and at the last moment, his mind changes and he tries to stop everything. But his companions are blinded by greed for money and are not ready to listen to him. On the other hand, Jonathan finds James in the same bar, and seeing the living James in front of him, his suspicion turns into reality. He immediately takes James to the FBI headquarters and starts interrogating, adding all the clues he has so far. Jonathan begins to believe that James must have become the leader of the thieves to take revenge, but James clearly denies this and says that he is not behind all this. On the other hand, Brian gets separated from his two companions, but they still reach the old house. As soon as they reach there, their hope is broken, because where there was a hope of millions of money, nothing is found. Suddenly, the police sirens start ringing and the situation gets worse. One of the two tries to shoot the police, but the police kills him there, while the other surrenders out of fear, and he is also arrested at the same time. Jonathan gets the news in the FBI that Brian's men have been caught, and then Brian also reaches there. Jonathan asks him how he knew where the money was, and Brian replies that he got this information from an informer, and Wales also knew everything about these. As soon as he hears this, Jonathan becomes quiet and immediately checks Wales's file, where it is written that Wales was part of the same special forces unit that Jeffrey had used, and after the mission, he suddenly left the army and joined the FBI. Wales knew everything from the beginning, and he used his power wrongly so that he could take revenge on Jeffrey. Now it was completely clear that the real mastermind was there, and Jonathan ordered Wales to catch him without delay. The police cars quickly set out to catch him. At the same time, Stockwell found out the location of Jeffrey, but when the two reached there, it was too late, because Jeffrey had run away with the helicopter, and the plan to avenge the thieves was incomplete. Seeing this, Wales could not control his anger and started firing bullets at the helicopter. Stockwell tried to stop him and said that he was going crazy, but then all the Wales's companions reached there with weapons. Seeing this, Stockwell also believed that the real mind of this whole game is Wales, and no matter how the situation is, he is not going to back down. He fought with all his strength and dropped many thieves around him and threw Wales on the ground, but in the meantime, a thief attacked from behind and struck Stockwell on the head with a rifle butt and made him unconscious. In a little while, the police cars reached there by siren, and Jonathan came running to the roof, but it was too late. By then, there was only an injured Stockwell lying on the roof, while Wales had fled with his companion. Brian remembered that he had seen a map in Wales's car in which there was a mark, and with the help of his memory, he reached where Wales was shifting money. Seeing Brian, Wales told him to leave quietly, but when Brian did not move back, Wales shot him. But Wales was not going to leave Brian just like that, so he himself told the police the location of Brian, and then set out to find Jeffrey. Jonathan was also not going to let him go just like that, and a few months later he found Jeffrey's clue in Mexico. Jonathan was sure that Wales would also be there, so he set out alone to find Hyman. When the two met face to face, Jonathan's eyes were filled with compassion, anger, and pain for Wales. Wales tells Jonathan that he and his companions were dying inside for years, and at the time of that mission he felt that something was very wrong, but a soldier is not allowed to ask questions. He only has to follow orders. This is his duty. Type mistake that happened to him never let him sleep in peace, and as the mission progressed, the fear of his heart grew deeper. In the end, when only James survived and fear was seen in his eyes, Wales was convinced that his suspicion was correct, and all of them were used by the people sitting above. After knowing the truth, Wales and his companions staged James's death and somehow saved his life, but even though he was alive, James lost everything and even lost his identity and the man who was ready to give up his life for his country. On the other hand, Wales and his companions lived with the burden of killing their own friends, and the real culprit of this painful story was only Jeffrey. That's why he decided to take revenge, and after hearing this, Jonathan directly asked Wales what about those innocent people who were killed for no reason. Jonathan's voice began to echo in Wales's ears, and upon hearing this, Wales was completely broken. He said that he had no intention and he was just there at the wrong time, and they had tried their best to save him. After this, the debate between between the two begins whether to kill Jeffrey or not, and the atmosphere becomes even more tense in the end. Jonathan says that he had once trusted Wales and he was deceived, but now he is trusting again for the last time, and this time he does not want to regret saying this. Jonathan goes straight to Jeffrey, who still does not show any regret for his actions but is laughing with pride. Joffrey thinks that he has been completely safe after coming to Mexico, and he threatens Jonathan that if he is harmed, then Jonathan will also become a criminal, but these things have no effect on Jonathan. Suddenly Jonathan attacks and stabs Jeffrey in the stomach, seeing which the people around him start running in fear. Jeffrey's bodyguard sees his boss injured and pulls out a gun, but Wales sees him first and shoots him. After this, Jonathan puts his gun on Wales, and the two stand in front of each other, but Wales puts his gun down and starts walking backwards, leaves his fate in Jonathan's hands, and the burden on his heart for years comes off from him to die, and Jonathan also sees him go and puts his gun down.